as well. That makes sense.
And then 2 supports. No, I'm just kidding. So Elise does go out. Meteos will not find that. Cloud9 did have a loss when Meteos had that Elise. Elise in. Gets through, but they take it.
Exactly.
Possibly.
I think they're going to do that because they want to deny it from Meteos. Also, Crumbzz has a hankering for playing Lee Sin this weekend. It was banned against him when they played TSM because he is very, very good at Lee Sin. He's going to try and show Meteos how it's done, I believe. But the fact that they're sitting on it and not locking in makes me think someone's still making his decision.
They're looking down the line.
We're all looking at KiWiKiD. KiWiKiD's the one talking right now. I like how Scarra and KiWiKiD are talking to each other, and Cruzer and Crumbzz just like, what do we do? Just tell us already.
This is an in-depth conversation here. You see they're sitting back. I'll break out the coffee in a second. Scarra's going to have the last word. Dignitas loves to run something that can be a factor when your team's off split pushing. And we'll see the Sivir pickup. Doesn't really lead to all that, but it could. We'll see what the composition comes in. The Stampede, a likely thing.
Well, Cloud9 had a lot of trouble against Sivir yesterday, and for a team that is so invested in finding fights, running people down, turret diving, it's harder to do those things against a Sivir. I think Sivir is going to be an ever-popular pick against Cloud9 because it is very good against the Cloud9 playstyle.
As soon as Jinx kind of fell off, people stopped playing her. They were like, Sivir, yes. Let's build compositions around that and run people down so they can't get away. Waiting on Cloud9 to pick it out here. It's going to be Hai and Meteos on your screen. From left to right, that's Meteos. I'm seeing him right now. We'll see if he picks for himself. Usually they will. And whoa, the Pantheon coming in the first time for Meteos. He will go for that.
That's exciting. He's trying to match the early game power that Lee Sin is going to bring. And they also pick Caitlyn, who is probably the best AD carry you can pick against Sivir. Such an immense range advantage and can also shove back at Sivir. 2 very, very important things. We'll get to see if Sneaky and Imaqtpie match up or if Dignitas is going to try one of their lane swaps. Dignitas has been the team that does lane swaps with Jinx, and they've been going up into the top lane, blowing through the extra
fast tower pushing,
extra turret damage reduction. But I don't know how well that will work without the Jinx. We might see it this game, just because that's a bad lane matchup.
Cruzer getting his Mundo. We've been seeing Cruzer focus quite a bit when he comes up with that pick. Dignitas playing to the crowd for a little bit, but they're going to go with Leon.
Big grin on his face. Leon is the logical pick here. Wouldn't be too surprised if we see the Renekton coming out of balls. He's picked it so many times, and he can get so aggressive against a Mundo that it would just synergize with the type of map control Cloud9 is going to want to take early. If he doesn't do that, it will be a throwback onto something like Rumble to synergize with Hai's mid pick.
Scarra leaving himself up for a mid pick here, so whatever Hai shows, he's going to have to allow Scarra to counter that. Sneaky and LemonNation for the last 2 picks here. Looking for that mid in that top lane.
Yeah, I think I saw Kobe talking about it yesterday, but Lemon's beard's really coming in strong.
It is?
Yeah.
It's great. Got to give him credit as a beard guy. Ooh, the Kha'Zix coming in.
Ooh.
Already a win there for Hai on Kha'Zix, and Sneaky is going to pick out Shyvana for balls.
So while these are both very strong picks in lane, and Hai and Kha'Zix makes a lot of sense for Hai, it's actually been banned against him when they played TSM. Very, very good at that champion. They're really low on crowd control. As far as initiating fights, sure, everyone can jump in, but how well are they going to keep people there, especially against a team like Dignitas who moves so fast? I do worry for Cloud9 whether they're going to have to get really far ahead. Otherwise, I think Dignitas is going to cut him around the map.
Hopefully Cloud9 can jump in and kill him faster than they move and quickly zero him off the map. We did see, oh man, I want to say it was Curse. Cop running the Caitlyn, and then Dominate was running the Pantheon, and they were doing the man drop ace in the holes from wherever. It's just such a big burst of damage to initiate. So
100 to 0, someone squishy.
You could see that. The pick coming in. Whoa! Oh.
All right, that is real, actually. That is a real Veigar pick. So,
damn.
Couple
Awesome.
things. As far as disengaging, Veigar has the longest, I believe, stun left in the game. When he maxes his event horizon, which is his stun, I believe it's 2.5 seconds of circular stun, which, since Cloud9 doesn't have much crowd control and everyone's going to be jumping in, when you jump through the event horizon, you'll go through it, but you'll be stunned afterwards. The crowd control will stick with you.
Right.
So that's actually a tremendous disengage if Dignitas wants to try and get that. Since he'll be moving quick enough because of the Sivir, he can do that. Also, he could theoretically burst down Kha'Zix right as he comes in because Kha'Zix is so quick in and out. But Veigar can like lock him down with the stun so he can't jump out afterwards, then just blow him up.
Primordial burst right in the face. As the teams load onto the Rift, let's crunch the numbers to see who you think is going to take this next match. I know everybody's clicking after seeing that Veigar pick.
What does
It's
Veigar
67%. I think Cloud9 is going to take this.
Yeah, that's not as high as a percentage as we're used to seeing from Cloud9 fans.
They usually get a little more love, but Dig they've been showing that they can step up.
Kind of want to pick up Veigar's character sheet and just try to so I could get all the knowledge. I was not expecting this. Obviously, his ultimate is one of just the biggest nukes in the game. It's very much like a Syndra ultimate, except it's just one burst instead of a whole bunch of them.
Right.
Damage-wise, it's very comparable as far as single-target ultimates. Can pretty much blow anyone up if he catches them properly. But
I'm interested to see.
It's such a dangerous pick against Kha'Zix, Riv.
I love seeing a Veigar that can hit a nice stun with the Event Horizon, the Dark Matter combo if they can time the W right, because it's quite a long time charge for that spell to fall. But we got all the time in the world to see it here as we get into Cloud9 versus Dignitas, our second game of the day here. Week 5, day 2. We are on to the Rift.
And we've also seen a lot of success from teams who pick first-time champions. Yeah.
It's a weird stat, but it is completely true.
It seems, we saw the Volibear the first time Urgot Soraka got broken out. It was incredibly potent. This is going to be fantastic.
So squishy. Scarra. Hardly any health. 437 HP, and he goes with the consumables, as did Hai.
Yeah, very squishy. If a Pantheon looks at him funny, he's probably going to die early on in the game. But the burst damage is absurd. His ultimate has a 1.2 AP ratio. Veigar's one of these older champions that just people haven't touched on in a while, so there's a few ridiculous things left on his kit that he has access to. He has so much weakness inherently with this, and there's so many things teams can do against him to punish him that he's allowed to have those 2.5-second stuns when he maxes his Event Horizon, or his 1.2 AP ratio on his ultimate.
Well, he's got his work cut out for him. He's trying to make a mark. This is the second Veigar we've ever seen in the North American LCS. So Scarra.
Yeah, it was Nijaki who played it before, I believe. Way back.
Would be the Jackie.
Minions have spawned.
He loves his Veigar. Again, the back and forth. We get a glitch in the system, and we see the same thing up top every time.
Another Mundo version on a matchup, but really this invade. This time you could see Scar moved over to give him a bit of assistance. Said, get out of there, guys. I don't care if you have a ward. This is going to let him know the Crumbzz starts at the red buff, though. Just scouting knowledge for two very good junglers.
Very interesting. This Veigar pick, we'll keep an eye on it as we make our way through the game. Like we said, Crumbzz gets Lee Sin away from Meteos to start this. And Meteos is going to be on Pantheon for the first time here. So a lot of early things to keep our eyes on as this game gets underway.
No. There's going to be a lot of focus on Veigar this game.
Yeah.
Have to see if he can farm up. Much like Nasty, he has a stacking mechanism.
That's
Every
true.
time he last hits with his Q,
keep control
get extra AP, and that's a lot of damage for KiWiKiD to take. Oh dear.
The exhaust is on, the Peacemaker to come out. It's on cooldown, but the flash, very nice for them.
Yeah, opts to flash instead of barrier, because if he would have barriered, there's a chance that they just would have waited until afterwards and then flashed and killed him anyway, so he burns the flash right away. I made a mistake last night where I did the barrier first, and it cost.
Ooh.
It was death.
Yep.
Smart move to flash away at that point.
LemonNation really getting the upper hand, leveling that E, getting the extra flay damage in, and there's not much KiWiKiD can do to auto-attack back, and they quickly take aggression in the bottom lane. Meteos, and everybody is going to start using this to their advantage, and they start going for the blue buff.
Yeah, smart move there, and it's only worked because Sneaky and LemonNation had done so much damage to Imaqtpie that he couldn't make it over. Sneaky no flash, though.
Oh, just in time! Oh my god, they turned it around on KiWiKid's head!
2v2 right there, Sneaky and LemonNation. The Caitlyn pick to try and counter, and Meteos waiting in the wings.
KiWiKiD, he's running. He has that ward, so he's safe. But wow, very early aggression. The level 3 quickly coming in from Meteos because of the blue buff on Dignitas' side.
Crumbzz also gets spotted by the ward in the top lane.
Ooh.
It's going to be a bit of action.
He knows how to play it, though. He didn't freak out and try to run out of the event. He knows to stay in it,
stay within the horizon,
not get stunned. Like you said, that mechanism, if you try to jump out of it, it kind of triggers.
You can
if
jump
you're
out
in and you get out,
but you get stunned afterwards.
But you still get stunned. If you pass through the wall anyway, it's going to get you.
Scar has 4 ability power, extra from his Q right now.
Oh, man.
Keeping track of that one. It's only 1 AP. 5 AP if he kills a champion with it.
Maybe your staff shouldn't get bigger as it builds an AP. A little bit of a walk-in here. They're doing it very slowly. Dignitas has to just kind of take this. The flashes are down. The damage is coming in slowly, and they walk in another kill for themselves. The lockup onto KiWiKiD. He's only got so far to go, and not another death sentence to be written for him.
Oh no, that lane for Dignitas is starting really badly. They had no summoners, and Imaqtpie was way too far from home. It was a smart return gank from Meteos. He just pretty much stayed there, which caught Dignitas off guard. But he still shouldn't have been there. Sloppy death by KiWiKiD.
Super early aggression coming in here from Sneaky and LemonNation in the bottom lane. For KiWiKid's first Sivir game, he is not having a fun time.
Yeah, and you can also see the Relic Shield got picked up after the Doran Shield by KiWiKiD.
Right.
Oftentimes you'd see them start with a Relic Shield instead of a Doran's. This time he gets it after because he still wants the gold generation. But if they're losing the lane that badly, it's going to be hard for him to actually get the gold shares out.
Scarra getting a little help from Crumbzz in the mid lane so they can push back high. He's also a factor they need to shut down in this game. So far, he's not going too crazy on CS. They're both pretty even. Cruiser balls in the top lane, still level 5s. Looking at their experience bars, they're not looking like they'll hit 6 anytime soon. But we'll see if Meteos comes up here, as most teams do, and try to get the early aggression onto Mundo.
Well, that'll be the story here, because that's usually what Cloud9 has been doing so far in this 2014 season. And Balls has gotten a lot of harass down on a Cruiser. He generally keeps his lane opponent quite low, and it's how he's been so dominant in the top lane so far this split. But early on, no real action up top, because Siobhan and Mundo don't generally kill each other. They need jungle. Again in the bottom.
A lot of action go down here. Crumbzz finally has something to say about it. He's going for LemonNation on the backside, goes for the flash.
Oh, missed
Sneaky
you.
was the bodyguard in between. Do they have it enough to get it down the boomerang? On the way back, KiWiKiD gets himself a kill.
A incredibly needed return kill right there, even though Crumbzz missed his Sonic Wave at that point. They knew Lemons was a bit overextended, and they ended up catching Meteos unawares for the gank.
Scarra goes back his first buy. 2 Doran's rings. He needs to stay a little bit healthier.
Health.
He was pretty squishy.
Oh, another early dragon by Dignitas. This is one of their trademarks. It's really funny how Dignitas has such great dragon control, but such terrible Baron control in their games, because they almost always get that early dragon. They're very good at it. Always knowing the right moment to peel off, and Crumbzz has a great eye for it.
Very much so. The sub
the gank.
7-minute dragon into the sub 7-minute gank coming in for Cloud9. And they do go top. They do go for Cruiser.
That's what happens. Balls kept him low, even though he had hit level 6. He hadn't popped his ultimate yet to heal up. They got the Ignite down to diminish the effectiveness of the Mundo ultimate, and they secure a very, almost trademark Cloud9 top lane dive.
We'll see how this works. They'll see Balls and Meteos in the top lane for quite a while. No, they're actually not going to pressure that turret too hard. So Dragon goes down, and they don't try to rebuttal with the turret.
Not really a possibility to, because they'd gotten that gank top lane. So not extra stuff to push bottom. KiWiKiD really going all out to try and have enough trading damage, because he's getting slaughtered in CS in that lane right now. About 25 to 49, because KiWiKiD shared a few, but he picked up that Relic Shield late.
They're playing that so far back. They're even almost behind Dig's minion wave coming in here, trying to get the zone defense going on, and they're doing a great job. LemonNation's pressure of that early flay damage from his auto attacks has really set up this lane nicely. Along with Meteos, he made an early presence bot lane, and we were saying he kind of left it alone last game.
Yeah, well, he tried to get it going last game.
Right.
Against COG, he was just so ineffective with it. This time, though, Pantheon, much more straightforward ganks. Don't have to worry about any of those pesky skill shots. Just jump on the guy and finish him off. Now he's level 6, too.
Yeah, he's going for the Lizard. He's going to be able to build that up. He has the 2 long swords waiting for him. He's finishing Wraiths right now. As we see Hai jumping in onto Scarra, but he finds himself some Crumbzz here, and he goes in for the Sonic! And the resonating strike as well, the kill.
Then getting out of there with the kick, that was the Event Horizon stun full burst by Dignitas, and they get the execute from Crumbzz when he flies in. Nicely done. Veigar keeping Kha'zix under wraps as of now, out-farming him, and the jungler gank helps him get a kill.
I like the Lee Sin pick coming in here now. You see how it kind of synergizes with that long stun of Veigar. Scarra can get a really far out stun. You get a safeguard in, you got 2 people on the fight immediately. We'll see if that comes back again. The Fiendish Kodak's being picked up by Scarra. Looks like he's not going up against too much. Hai has been having a bit of trouble in that lane.
You could actually kick someone into the event horizon just to stun them.
That's true.
Kick them into the stun.
I like it.
They'd be very confused on what happens.
We'll see if Crumbzz can get it to happen this game. He does have quite the fantastic Lee Sin mechanics. He himself is going to be going for the golem for himself this
Tank Lee Sin,
Yeah.
makes sense. We need much protection for Scarra.
Yeah.
Still not much ability power stacking up. Oh.
He's trying. Can't get it for everyone all the time. KiWiKiD, his flash and barrier are up, and there is one of the two. The flash is down.
Yeah, and he had to burn his ultimate. Surprising, you know, his support was far, far away trying to make a play in the mid lane. So he had to back off himself. And now KiWiKiD, yeah, they really want to shut down Hai here. Wonder if they're going to go. I'm surprised they haven't just went or backed off. There's a lot of happy feet.
Crumbzz is hovering, but Hai has that ward just above his shoulder on the left side. He will be able to stay safe and maybe even have some time to bait out Crumbzz, but he's already back for the time being. Still only down a little bit in CS. I'm waiting for this Scarra pick to really have a factor in the game. I think it's slowing things down that Veigar's here. Nobody's roaming or not wanting Scarra to get too big.
Oh, there's that gank top lane.
Here it is, jump to the top. Cruzer says, all right, I'll go the other way. Dragon's Descent is going to give him a little bit of a boost, and he is going to keep on the sadism with that speed. He'll be alive for a little bit.
Gotta keep Meteos away. Nice shot.
Well, at least he saves the assist from coming in.
How much more can he run? Seriously, a couple more cleavers.
Wait a minute. He got the Flame Breath on, so it's still ticking. The minions are kind of going to equal that as well. I don't think this is going to be an execute.
No.
Balls takes him down.
A very noble effort, though, by Cruzer.
Wasting good time.
Keeping the assist gold away from Meteos. If you get a kill without an assist, that entire assist pool, which is 50% of the kill gold, doesn't get given to the other team.
Oh, the flash into the stun, but Scarra throws down the event horizon. There could be enough damage here, and there is, coming from Hai.
Ooh, just a lethal gank right there. Flash stun by Meteos. Almost no escape if Scarra is going to be pushed up in the lane at that point.
You see Crumbzz throwing out some spells to get that passive attack speed in. Take out the pink ward a little faster, get himself to safety, but right now, he's playing in the danger zone. He is in C9's jungle, which they've done quite a bit of warding in.
Yeah, Cloud9 definitely pulling ahead here across the board. Top lane, bottom lane, both doing well. And mid lane by Scarra just got ganked, so it's a little bit of trouble across the board. The early pressure is back for Cloud9.
And a big help from Meteos as well. Seeing those kills in his column is going to mean that the team is on the up and up, and they're definitely thinking they have the advantage here. Turret going down in the top lane. Cruzer kind of has to let that one happen. Balls is doing what he can to keep that strengthened. 104 to 82 in that lane. It's going to be a cutlass to that tank of Mundo.
Yeah, you can see Cruzer has to now just take double golems because he is too scared of what's happening up in that lane. Getting completely bullied now by Balls thanks to the help of Meteos. And also, the strength of Meteos right now is really scary. If he can get onto Scarra and not get stunned by the event horizon, pretty much just 1v1 him. With the Lizard Elder and 2 longswords, he is basically an assassin with a half map wide jump.
And this is what Dominate was talking about last game. You keep even with the other jungler and most of the team, you can easily build that damage without being too afraid of getting blown apart right away. 5-2, 13 minutes on the clock, and looks like we're going to see Dragon alive once again. Unfortunate for C9 that the blue was picked up just recently by Scarra, so they won't be able to pressure that as well.
And with the blue buff, Scarra can try and get a little bit more ability power. For anyone curious, 31 AP, but he's in trouble right now.
Oh, the flash! Gonna go in, he still has his flash up. Can he get outside the event horizon? He is so low right now, but so is Hai. They go back and forth. Retribution kill on the mids, and it looks like Meteos comes up with another one. Crumbzz goes down. They're right back onto Cruzer. They did not expect Balls to be here. Lemon tries for the last play, but sadism keeps him alive.
Hey, considering they dumped so much into that, a 2-for-1 isn't a total disaster. Now, Dignitas
the double solar flare, so nice coming in from KiWiKiD. The reinitiation is huge. Balls is trying to get himself out with burnout. Meteos is doing what he can, and Sneaky. Sneaky's getting quite close right now to the fight, and he is not stopping.
Yeah, but Sneaky is really strong. Bloodthirsted to just a bunch of item pieces for Dignitas. All told, though, that is a 2-for-2. And we can really actually see the theory behind the event horizon working because Scar's getting jumped on, and then everyone just kind of waits for a second and a half, and then it kills him. So that part's not working. But the rest of it means in a team fight, they would have a lot of time to get other stuff out. Imaqtpie could theoretically get a lot of damage out in those quick windows of stun. This could work for Dignitas.
Cruzer just used that ulti, burnout going out. Balls didn't even back from that engagement. Dragons going down right now. They did effectively get the blue off of Scarra, though.
Yeah, that was Cruzer's bad, though. He got caught off guard by the Blade of the Ruined King from Balls and just got ran down without his ultimate on. Dignitas' Dragon control again, keeping them in this game a bit with gold. Dignitas really sticking around with low health and mana. It's because Cloud9 has so much persistent pressure on the map that they're just not getting good windows to go back and buy. Every buy is costing them something. You know, Cruzer should have bought, but because he didn't, he died. If he would have bought right away, he might have lost turret damage or get it counter juggled like he is now. Here in the bottom lane, because they had to shop after the dragon, they lose a turret.
Cloud9 always working one thing after the other. Get some kills, get a turret. Don't stop there. 15 minutes into the game, they've got about a 2,000 gold lead, 4 kills in their favor, and those, again, a lot are on Meteos. He's had 5 out of those 8 in kill participation, so he's been all around the map, really helping every lane. You saw him helping Balls against Cruzer, and he's been jumping on Scar in the mid lane most recently.
Yeah, I think it's been quite a recovery in the bottom lane of Dignitas as well. Crumbzz finding a hook. That was actually a pretty key ward kill. The fact that Hai and Lemon peeled off for it and Dignitas took almost no damage is a big reward. 100 gold invested, and that pink ward is now gone. But the bottom lane for Dignitas, KiWiKiD being at 90 CS and there being 20 on KiWiKiD, most of that being share gold, means gold-wise, they are incredibly close to the bottom lane that they died to at level 1. KiWiKiD actually has 100 more gold than Sneaky at this point.
All the hooks.
There's a turn, baby.
LemonNation still hitting the hooks, as usual. His Thresh play is 5-1 with 6 plays, so he's making this 7 right now. If it can be another victory, looks like him and Sneaky are still just controlling that lane completely.
They put a lot of damage down onto him.
Well, at least they have eyes on Crumbzz now. We see that Meteos is in the bot lane. He may hang out for a little bit.
Yeah, Scarra's got to watch out here because Dignitas has lost complete control of that top lane. Balls is now beating up so many people on Dignitas. It's not just Cruzer that is harmed. Because he's pressuring Scarra, because he's gone, he's hurting mid, and because he's taking rates, he's hurting Crumbzz in the jungle. Ball's doing a great job. It's kind of a lesson on how to carry from top lane.
It just shows you he can do it on any champion. Cruzer's on his main champion right now in the season with 6 plays onto that Mundo. This is only Balls' fourth play on Shyvana, so we'll have to see if he can keep this up.
Yep, taking the turret in the mid lane as well, just because he is there. Scarra cannot push that back. There's a hook!
Going in on a KiWiKiD. He is the main focus. He flashes out on the hunt. Is there? Oh, but he goes down in the end. Good kill coming from a burn.
The damage ticks from the Lizard Elder finished him off in the end there. Very close kill, and somebody's got to stop this mid lane push.
I don't think anybody's going to be able to. Burnout's going to hinder that a little bit, activating the damage coming in, but they get off. Scarra's not able to throw down the event horizon, and they live to fight another day.
Yeah, these relentless pushes by Cloud9. As soon as they get some harass or get someone low, they can just keep on coming. Sneaky with his huge range as well, just trying to get these turrets down. The fact that it's 3 turrets to 0, it means Dignitas needs to start winning a couple fights, otherwise the gold lead will continue to accumulate. They've lost their other turrets, their jungle is vulnerable, and the more Cloud9 is farming the lanes and both jungles, the more they're going to pull ahead.
Their jungle's vulnerable, and it's also being shared quite a bit here. Cruzer has nothing to farm as his lane's fully pushed. We just saw Crumbzz, or rather Scarra, leaving the top side and coming down to get this blue. So everybody's trying to soak up what they can. They'll have a few minion waves coming in here as Cloud9 isn't going to be able to push too much more. But with dragons in their favor, 3 turrets, they're only waiting to get the next kills.
Yeah, Scar just picked up his DFG as well. Because he's gained an extra 56 ability power from his Q stacking, he's sitting at 260 ability power already in that game. Scarra will hurt if he can get his combos off in this game, and Dignitas is hanging on by a thread right now. There could be one more fight for Cloud9. If they win it, they have the map control that they could take Baron, and that would just turn the game on its head.
Still going to have to get himself in there. Very scary situation for a tiny little Veigar. We'll see if they try to blow him up immediately. They have the team for it. That is on the side of Cloud9. Looks like Meteos and LemonNation using that pink ward to their advantage, trying to get a quick pick on somebody.
but they're not quite finding it at this point.
Dignitas isn't really in the we're going to make the moves mode right now. They're in the let's figure out what's happening. Maybe some moves in mid. KiWiKiD trying to come in, and we see that the Pantheon was immediately stopped there.
This is bad.
There's the jump. The flash goes out. KiWiKiD, Peacemaker from the backside. The ace in the hole. Going to be taken down. Hai, good damage there. Could they keep going into this fight? Oh, getting exploded by Scarra.
Whoa. Great
damage there. Scarra's still on the backside. LemonNation goes down now, and it's going to be Sneaky trying to come up with a kill. Still going into the fight. Dragon's Descent's going to be enough to take down KiWiKiD. Thought he was actually going to be able to put on another shield and stop that Dragon fight from coming down. Everybody is going down except for Scarra, only because he's got the range to stay out of the fight.
Really, really strange fight right there, Riv. It ends up being 4 for 2 when all is said is done, but it was so close to turning around for Dignitas. So Cruzer was a hair tankier. He would have finished off both Meteos and Sneaky. Scarra was pushed back, and you actually got to see how quickly he blew up Hai. I actually thought Hai was jumping in to kill Scarra, and one of them disappeared. I thought it was the other way around. But Scarra came out on top in that one.
Glad that wasn't the only one.
Yeah, check out the shock on this one. So KiWiKiD goes down, but watch the burst on Hai as he jumps in for this next kill, because Scarra DFG combos him off this stun. He's gone before he lands.
I thought that was Scarra dying.
Yeah, and then he flashed away, which made it seem like he disappeared. That almost turned it, because behind them, Cruzer came in, and it was just so incredibly close between these guys. Obviously, Meteos with the last bit of mana. It was actually Balls that finished off on the KiWiKiD. So close. If Scarra could have gotten a little bit past Balls. It was just Balls being the middle of that fight. Completely stopping Scarra from getting to the backline was very important.
And the unkillable gets out unkilled again. 4-0-6 for Meteos now in this game, and he is everywhere he needs to be. Actually stopped the ultimate coming into that fight quite quickly as it was initiated. Making the right calls.
And during that replay also, Cloud9 took the Dragon. Yes. Which is the most valuable dragon of the game thus far. It scales with gold as the game continues, meaning that that lead that we were thinking was going to balloon is starting to. 5,000 gold this early in the game is very dangerous for Dig. They have to really find picks. I think the straight-up team fights are a bad idea for them.
And we see Hai, I believe, going for the Hydra build again, along with that Hex Drinker to keep himself safe. He's the one that favors the Hydra over that Bloodthirster, kind of single-target killer. See what they have in mid and see if he can get kills still. We'll see it coming in. He's already got 3 for himself. Between this game and last game, Jungler and 80 carry, doing good things for themselves. 4-0-6 for Meteos, Sneaky 3-0-3. It's really for Dignitas to answer now. A little bit on the back foot.
Yeah, Sneaky trying to make up for his poor lane against Sivir yesterday.
All right.
Just harassing down Scar. Headshot. Not quite. Stays in the hole. Oh, here comes Pantheon, though.
Great jump, great event horizon. I think there was a bit of miscommunication there for a second. KiWiKid's going to be going down in this. Crumbzz is on the side to do what he can, but it's only for moral support.
You could tell KiWiKiD tried to protect Scar there, but he didn't need protecting, and it just cost him his life.
That's what you get, right? You haven't played with Veigar in a while. No, everything's fine. I can stun their entire team, and it's not my ultimate. We're okay, but not everybody's on the same page.
Yeah, this could be a very, very key moment here. Cloud9 clearing out pink wards, going for Baron because PewDiePie is gone and KiWiKiD is farming. This is a nearly impossible Baron hold by Dig. They might just have to completely give this up. Look out.
That just missed. Good ward coming in, though. PewDiePie is going to get this bottom turret. They go over onto Crumbzz. Deja vu, and the Baron engagement's over the wall.
How does this keep happening?
On to Scarra. Hai goes back into the pit. Very low. He was actually the one tanking. Cruzer wants a piece of this. It looks like Crumbzz is on the outside. He's very low, but could go for an attempt.
Yeah. It could just be another jump over the wall.
Yeah, it's going to be a jump over the wall, and a Dragon that's very hungry. Ball's going for another kill. Gets it in a 2v1 situation, pushes it out into another 2v1, and they don't even want to fight. An inhibitor turret is going down, but will Dig be able to even pressure this later?
All right, so it seems like that, it looked like it was exactly what happened yesterday. The same rush, just a Kha'zix jumping over the wall to kill him again. But if we look at the overall gold, it is still fairly close. Let's see if I can chase down PewDiePie.
He doesn't have enough mana, maybe one spell shield for the spikes to slow it. There's one. Oh, he turned on the click, though. It wears off. There's the hit.
Goodbye.
There's no red buff, but it's going to be the slow that's enough to get the kill. PewDiePie will go down here. A little bit of extra gold for Hai. It's going to happen eventually. Just takes a little bit longer. Fancy feet and the brushwork by PewDiePie. And we see Cloud9 trying to take advantage of everything here, and they missed that one. Sneaky just trying to be a pest.
Yeah, Scarra is able to secure his blue buff, but
He didn't clear it.
That was another tactical misplay by Dignitas right there. Even though KiWiKiD was caught, I think the Baron could have been defensible if PewDiePie went bad straight away. He got 2 turrets out of it, you know? Traded for the Baron in a few deaths. But now the question becomes, can they hold off their inhibitors? If they cannot, the move was definitely not worth it.
They're scared
they're
right
down
now.
in gold for it.
They are not happy with what's going on outside the base. Scarra leaving up that minion, actually, so the blue buff won't respawn if they can get back out and get it. Cruiser taking big damage before the fight even starts, and that's their main tank coming in. Yeah, Crumbzz built a little tanky, but he's still going down pretty quick in these fights.
Actually an Aegis for Crumbzz as well. So trying to get a bit of team utility. The dive comes in right now.
Wow, Balls is the first one in, and they make Balls be the focus, so Meteos can get a good hit on the man drop. The teleport is in from the base. Here comes Cruiser. They're also stages. He misses the cleaver, though. Back in the fight in between 4 people. Looks like Dig has a good grab.
Oh, no.
What a hook coming in from LemonNation. Hai takes full advantage and comes in with a quick kill, zeroing out that. And it looks like it's going to be Crumbzz going down as well. A double kill coming in for Sneaky, and Cloud9 turns another fight around in their favor.
Dignitas had the fight defended. Then they went back in. Again.
One after the other. You're too close if they can see you practically with Cloud9 right now. The inhibitor going down. The clock is pretty high on that death chamber, but it's only for Scarra. He just recently went down, and everybody's coming back up.
What an unfortunate fight there for Dignitas, because it looked like when they were able to kill Balls so early on and just burst him down. Watch the burst they put. The DFG from Scarra just into destroying him was amazing damage. At this point, once Cloud9 is out and Cruiser teleports in, just stop. The other team has Baron. It is a close 4v4, and there is a reset heavy champion on the other team. PewDiePie gets caught because he chased too far. Hai jumps in and starts going crazy, and they lose the fight from there. It was a good thing for Dignitas that they themselves turn into a bad thing.
Baron buff doing a lot for Cloud9 in that fight, keeping them very strong. And here, Scarra even thinking he's safe with the event horizon there. But Meteos, he finds his way around.
Meteos' Pantheon debut has been pretty impressive as well. We haven't talked that much about the great things Cloud9 has been doing in this game. 5-0-4 on Meteos. Him getting Balls going early, and then Balls carrying the game from top lane, combined with Sneaky and LemonNation, just playing solidly 2v2, are the main keys right now for Cloud9 and how they pulled so far ahead.
Also, that early invasion towards the blue, we saw that Sneaky and Lemon came out very hard in that bottom lane. PewDiePie was down to 100 health almost immediately with exhaust on him.
Yeah.
They have been in the face of Dignitas since the first minute of this game. 10,000 gold up now. They definitely know what they need. This bottom turret, with Baron being down, they have freedom to pretty much go wherever they want.
Yeah, and their Baron buff is still up on him for a short while later.
Right.
It's one of the hardest turrets to defend in League of Legends because they can get flanked from behind, and there's a very difficult retreat back to their base from here. You can see them just running away right now for the next minion wave.
Dig giving up this turret. They know things are getting pretty bad here, and they got to get the fight that they want. They have to be able to dictate it and get that first engagement, or hope that they can get another attack like they did on Balls last time, that quick DFG kill.
Yeah, that was a great kill. They can still do it. They will have that threat with the Void Staff on Scarra. His damage is not going to decrease. His health will, though.
It is an interesting build. Look on him real quick. You can get an idea of that. He's plus 97 stacks on that Q.
Yeah.
So he is getting a good bit of ability power out of it.
If this game were to somehow go longer, if Cloud9 wasn't so aggressive, Scarra would be absurd. If he could channel his death cap and get the bonus ability power on his stacking ability power as well, he would become a monster. I'm not going to have the time, I don't think.
Veigar's one of those champions that just makes you turn your head sometimes, kill after kill, from the amount of burst he can put out. Cloud9, not too worried about it though. On the top side of the map, they got the double team of Meteos and Balls working down the turrets. Looks like they don't have much to push right now. They're all the way up to the base. They're going to go back and try again.
Yeah, they are in a lot of control right now.
Yeah.
If they can catch Dignitas in the open, it is most likely they're going to crush them in a fight. And it's surprising because, you know, I worried a bit in the pregame about them not having enough crowd control to lock people down, but they've just initiated the right amount of fights and gotten the right targets down early on that it hasn't mattered. Plus, they've laned so strongly that they were able to get really far ahead, and it means that, you know, Dignitas just can't move in and around them because if they're ever close to them, they're just losing. And the sheer just being there for Cloud9, finds the right fights.
Scarra and KiWiKiD down very fast here. 2 black cleavers sit on the board for Cloud9 on those 2 assassins of Pantheon and Kha'zix. Meteos, no stranger to getting the kills this game. He has 5. Hai himself on Kha'zix has 6, and they have completely been working that combination, kind of like a dive buddy going in. We see him looking at Scarra quite a bit, and he's gone into that Deathfire Grasp Void Staff, which is an odd build, but you can do it on Veigar. It's the way you got to kill people.
Absolutely.
30 minutes in, 20-7 here, looking quite grim for Dignitas, but anything is possible. Baron, 30 seconds.
Yeah, and this is actually a Baron Dignitas can't really contest. There are so many wards in their jungle, and there's pink ward control from Cloud9, that if they try and go win, they're just waiting to walk into a thresh hook and get the same story over and over again. At the same time, though, because it's 12,000 gold down, this is one of the only ways they think to get back into the game. It is a lose-lose situation at this point for Dignitas. Have to pull out a miraculous play if they want to get something here.
Oh, yeah, they're definitely trying to lose a little bit less. They're trying to make moves. Crumbzz out in the front. He can safeguard back in, so they're not getting themselves in too dangerous of a situation. Talisman of Ascension for 1. Sneaky coming from the outside of this one. He is going to get dove on, though. That might have been the bad spot. He's still in the open. His Meteos is very low. What a chaotic fight here. Seeing Cruiser now go down to the bot. Scarra is already down previously in the fight, and they're going to chase dig back into their base. Crumbzz isn't going to get too far, though. LemonNation's death sentences this game have been completely on point. Already inside the base, and greeting them as they come home is Hai. He gets a kill going over onto KiWiKiD. The double kill coming in for Hai on the kills, and it looks like they're going to be able to take the base.
Yeah, 24 kills to 7. It was a strange-looking fight because Cloud9 flanked very well. They hopped all around. They finished him off. This looks like a win for Cloud9.
Well, Cloud9 looking to make themselves 9-3 here on the spring split. They take down the first Nexus turret. Dignitas was looking to have a great game here. The Veigar pick didn't seem to work out. We'll see what happens coming up in our next games of the day. But this one going to Cloud9 at 31 minutes.
Cloud9 gets their revenge on Dignitas. They bounced back after their defeat yesterday from CLG. Still, tell this wasn't quite the week Cloud9 wanted to have. But they do come out strong with that victory. They kind of deal with the strange pick from Scarra. They make their team comp work despite it not having that much crowd control. They find it.
Yeah, actually the point I was just going to make is they played their team comp great. I wouldn't say perfectly, because nobody ever does anything perfectly.
Yep.
But they had the 5-0-6-0-8, I'm sorry, on Meteos. 5-0-7 coming in for Sneaky. He's only had 2 Caitlyn games on the board. He makes it 3-0 on that now. And that was the first Pantheon game coming in from Meteos, showing that his champion pool is not everything. Well, we have not seen everything in it.
Yeah. And Meteos can play a lot of champions. He just chooses not to in those situations because he has a very clear hierarchy of what he likes. The team really knows what they want out of a jungler, and he'll just pick Elise if it's up every game because he feels like she can work in all the situations that Cloud9 wants. With that ban, you know, with Lee Sin being taken away, he just went to the next rung on the totem pole, and it went to show that he has it pretty deep.
Right. Cloud9 finally getting back into that early game aggression. Towards the end of the game, we talked about how they really came into that victory. The bottom lane aggression of LemonNation, that first, obviously leveling the Aeon Thresh to get the extra damage, and KiWiKiD, like 3 minutes into the game, he was almost dead.
Yeah. It was, I would say KiWiKiD and KiWiKiD dropped the ball for Dignitas. And Sneaky and LemonNation definitely had a fantastic early game. They knew they were going up against a Sivir. You know, they had struggled against Sivir so much against CLG.
Right.
They had the night to think over the matchup. They said, all right, Caitlyn this time. They'd actually banned Caitlyn against CLG, so they didn't have that option. It was a good pick.
It was an absolutely good pick. Remember to send us your favorite moment.